Hi sisters, James Charles here.
I fully thought it was.
I owe everybody an explanation.
James Charles, aka one of the most influential and talented makeup artists out there, has been in some major dramas over the years. And despite all the scandals, lies, and assumptions made about James throughout his entire career, James still has a really dark personality that many of you guys watching should be aware of. But have you ever wondered, is James Charles still causing troubles? And is he really innocent? Well, let's deep dive into James's life and his hidden personality. As the majority of you guys know, James was one of the few influencers out there who were gaining major success in the past 4 years. And the reason why people fell in love with him is not only because of his makeup skills and tutorials, but also for his humor and personality, and the people he usually hangs out with in his YouTube video. Now, for the most part, I don't think anyone was a bit skeptical about James ever since he blew up on the internet because they expected his real life personality to be exactly the same as his social media one. But unfortunately, people were extremely disappointed once James started getting into scandals, since, well, one of his closest friends, aka the one who helped James gain success, decided to expose him in a YouTube video for hitting on straight men and making them uncomfortable. Yes, straight men.
Your fame, your power, your money to play with people's emotions, you're threatening to ruin them, you're threatening to embarrass them, and you're doing that to have them behave in your favor, even if they're straight. And you know what? That's not okay. That behavior is not okay. Whether you're a woman, a man, gay, straight, bi, whatever sexual orientation you are, that is your personal call, and it is not someone else's to take. It's not someone else's to play with. It's not someone else's to mess with. And how dare you laugh about it and make meme after meme and retweet and this and that and I love straight boys, and make it a joke.
Based on the comments I've read over the years, especially from the LGBTQ+ community, many of the members have actually revealed that a large percentage of queer men in our society are attracted to straight presenting men. And James Charles was actually one of them, since he has confessed his attraction to straight presenting men multiple times before. But no one really expected James to take it too far, to the point where he started forcing straight men to date and hook up with him, catfishing straight men on social media for explicit pictures, and even pressuring them to keep contact with him, otherwise he would ruin their life. Ever since the YouTuber Tati Westbrook, aka the person who is James's close friend, made the video about James to warn people from him, James started losing tons of followers. And by that, I mean he became the first ever YouTuber to lose 1 million subscribers in only 24 hours, since so many people were disgusted by the fact that James's ego made him think he could pull straight men and turn them gay. This scandal right here, you guys, made James lose tons of brand deals, friends, followers, and even made celebrities unfollow him and shade him on social media. Until James decided to make a really good response video towards Tati Westbrook, where he exposed her for lying on his name and spreading rumors by showing real evidence that he did not pressure or force any guy. Long story short, James was able to gain his fans back. In fact, he also started gaining a lot of followers afterwards, which made his relevancy on the internet rise more. Even though James confirmed that he will be behaving responsibly and that he will be learning from his mistakes after his huge scandal went down, unfortunately James failed to be loyal and faithful to us. Since, well, he started gaining his followers back, he also decided to join the TikTok community and hang out with a bunch of popular TikTokers just to boost up his fame. And if I'm being honest, I feel like this is the time where James's ego was unbeatable. From him being around popular people all the time to him gaining followers because of his TikTok friends, James basically attracted every single audience on the internet, from kids to teens to even adults. And that's when I feel like things went downhill for him, since many TikTokers started making videos about James and how he's an actual predator.
So last Wednesday on the 17th, James Charles snapped me on Snapchat. He added me back because I had snapped him a while ago, just like a fan to influencer conversation. This is the notification that I got when he Snapchatted me first. And just for further proof, he deleted the chat. I don't know what he deleted, but that's me opening his Snapchat. I went into the bathroom and I guess he saw the bathroom light, so he started making the conversation very and it made me really uncomfortable.
Not only did he expose James for trying to seduce him and receive explicit photos from him, but he even revealed that James knew he was a minor and continued flirting with him. This situation made James get canceled easily on social media, but still, people felt that the victim could have been making up lies just to go viral and cancel James. Until so many victims, I mean, we're talking about 7 people, gained the courage to go ahead and expose James in multiple videos, basically revealing how James has tried forcing them to send explicit pics despite being straight. And on top of this, James even once tried to pressure minors as well. Just check these out.
So as you can see, James Charles commented on one of my videos back in August. Then right after, he adds me on Snap, but notice he didn't follow my Instagram or TikTok. So at this point, I'm just shocked. I'm going insane. Like, I see this guy everywhere, and for him to add me, that just the big question came out. James asked me if I'm gay. I told him I'm straight, and things start to get weird from there. He then starts leaving me on open. Literally the same day I told him I was straight, he left me on open for 10 hours. He just asked me openly, would you be willing to experiment? I said no. He asked why, and I said because I don't feel comfortable doing something like that. Then he started questioning my decision, asking why, and he tried making me feel like it was okay. He sent me this.
What are you worried for, though? It's not like anybody's actually there, like about to suck your dick or something.
So after he sent me that, I thought to myself, why me? Like, why?
At this point, people were sick and tired of James constantly using her ego to pressure straight men and minors to send him explicit pictures, in which people finally came to the conclusion that James should immediately be canceled. And guys, that's when the hate train towards James began, since James tried multiple times to return to social media with YouTube videos titled "Holding Myself Accountable to an Open Conversations." Surprisingly, none of these videos served justice for James at all, since people were already bored of James manipulating us and playing the victim all over again. And guess what? Morphe, aka the makeup company James had a contract with, decided to drop James out of their company. And that's when I feel like James realized that he messed up his career real bad. Of course, James took a pretty long break on social media to recover from all the mess he caused, and yet people still hate towards him after he returned to the internet again, since tons of old videos resurfaced of James justifying pedophilia and showing his interest towards minors more than people at his age. Check these out.
So the thing is, for me, I'm 21, but like I said, I have the mentality of a 40-year-old.
Yeah.
So for me, like, I'm much more mentally and emotionally mature than a lot of people my age. I'm not physically attracted to older guys, which sucks. Like, I would date like the absolute youngest, like 18, 19, that looks a little bit old.
As expected, James's behavior towards straight men continued getting worse and worse over the years. Since about a week ago, James got involved in a really huge scandal after an influencer decided to expose James for asking to send his Snapchat username. Despite how the influencer refused to reply to James, James was able to find his Snapchat username, trade nudes with him, and blackmail him on Instagram that he would leak his nudes, in which the influencer went on TikTok to clarify that James got the wrong Snapchat username. Here's the full story.
Homie must have seen my Twitter.
So this is the last video I'm gonna make about this. I just want to clear the air for anybody that has questions. So James Charles DM'd me. He asked for my Snapchat. I didn't reply. I didn't say a thing. The next day I noticed that he unsent the DM and he blocked me. I'm like, okay, that's cool, whatever. I thought it was funny that he asked for my Snapchat, so I said I'm gonna make a little funny video out of it. You know, it wasn't that deep. So then I guess he unblocks me and he sends me those text messages basically trying to blackmail me, you know?
It's crazy how not only James got trolled by another person instead of the actual influencer he wanted to trade pics with, but he even exposed himself for trying to blackmail the influencer and leak his fake nudes. This situation, y'all, made James trend on Twitter again as people were dragging him all over the timeline for not only being a predator, but for also having the audacity to blackmail straight men. After all the shit he has been through. Here's what the victim had to say about James on Twitter. This weirdo, James Charles, threatening to post fake snap texts that he made to make it seem like we had a conversation, and I sent him pics and begged him to send me pictures of himself. fucking clown. The influencer was genuinely pissed off at James for straight spreading lies on his name when it had nothing to do with him. And guys, the people who witnessed the entire mess going down had a lot to say about James and how he's been desperately going after straight guys for years. Here's what they had to say. Why is James only interested in romantic situations where he's coercing, manipulating, or grooming someone? Lock him up before it's too late. Why is James so dangerously desperate? Gross. Love how he can admit to a crime and still be making money from YouTube. The world is insane. Anyways, loves, if you need more controversial docuseries on influencers, then make sure to click on this video right here.